So, how's everyone's week going? This has been a really intense eclipse passage. So one, I wanted to pop on here and see what Spirit wants us to know, kind of what is trying to be illuminated right now, if it is not already 100% perfectly clear in terms of where you are, or where you find yourself presently and you're not trying to be there anymore, or just there is what is being illuminated right now. For us kind of as a collective, and this will all resonate in different areas of your life, but where you are currently and where you're trying to go. What is stepping forward is just this really intense inner knowing of shit that we've already known. Somehow we've always known our whole life, shit that when we really like think and feel into it, we can ground into it and like, oh fuck no, that feels really good. That feels really good and I feel like I need to trust it. And then when we're asked to trust something that big, and then the movements that go along with that trust in terms of action as we move forward in our lives, it brings up a whole lot of unhealed and unintegrated stuff that we need to consciously look at and breathe through and process. Because what's happening as our truth gets more and more illuminated and the path ahead gets more and more illuminated and we get more and more illuminated, is that all of the past life shit comes up for all of the lifetimes where we died, essentially, where we didn't get that far, and so that's as far as we went, and so that's that past lifetime coming back up and being like, bro, I don't know, I don't fucking know, I don't know about this, I don't know about this, and that's when you're asked to consciously look and address what is happening both within your body, what hits you're getting, like if you're feeling like pain in your body, where you might be feeling that pain, and then what kind of emotional state you're in when those feelings come up, because it is all trying to, everything is trying to be illuminated right now. That is the theme of this eclipse, and it's, again, I won't shut up about this Cancer Capricorn light up thing that's happening, but it's really that important that this is, because the ultimate love of a parent, I mean, I'm not a parent, but I feel into it, and it feels like the ultimate, what you would want for your child is them to grow up happy and loved and where they're thriving. That's what we're having to do for ourselves right now. There is no one else who can do it for us, but what is stepping forward are areas in life where we want to be happy and thriving, or where we feel like we need to go to be happy and thriving, or the physical steps that we have to take to get to what makes us happy and thriving are stepping forward right now. And so again, it's just a whole lot of anxious and a whole lot of ickiness and a whole lot of everyone else kind of experiencing this at the same time. So I don't know if you saw that post I did. I think it was one of the two most recent, where it's just everyone's in their shit right now, and because everyone's in their shit right now, it's just kind of a pressure cooker as we all collectively and individually work through all of the stuff right now that's coming up for us to consciously process. And so I want, again, to see what Spirit has to say about it, and let you know that if you're interested in booking a personal reading with me where we can go into more detail about that, you are more than welcome to do so. They're $40. They last about 45 minutes to an hour. It's a really good deal for right now because I am trying to build. But because this is general, and so certain parts might resonate, certain parts might not, it's designed that it will hit with anyone who comes across it. But if you want to go into your specific situation, you can email me at the link in my profile, and we'll go from there. So, but what Spirit has to say for us about this eclipse passage window that we're in right now, and the anxiety and what we need to do to move through it. So, while I shuffle these cards, I would like you to take a minute to connect with your breath. Let your stomach go soft. Let it rise and fall. Feel your feet on the ground. Imagine yourself glued to the ground, like you could not be moving, shooketh from the ground if you tried. So just kind of, again, ground. It's very important. And breathe, and just kind of get centered, and ask for the clarity that you want about what you're trying to see right now, or not see right now. Because also the things that we're not trying to see right now, bitch, good luck. can't hide from anything right now. Everything is just like fucking, it's, you know, it's that summer. I was thinking about that Midsummer, that horror movie where it's all light, like just bright, you know, horror movies are normally dark, and this, oh, that's interesting. Anyway, it's kind of that as a collective right now, just like blindingly, like, oh fuck, I'm really not trying to see that right now, but you can't ignore it. And because you can't ignore it, and so you're not trying to see it, these anxious cycles just perpetuate and perpetuate and perpetuate. And so what we're really being asked to do is just stop, breathe, connect with our breath and our bodies, and doing what we need to do in that moment to feel safe and to stay present with ourselves in those moments. So, one more time. I feel like one more time is necessary right now. Okay. Spirit. Where do we find ourselves? What are you trying to make us see right now? I'd like 2 cards on what you're trying to make us see. Gosh, this one wanted to go and that one. Okay, straight up, we're really being asked to step out of our defensiveness and into our divine trust. This is the 7 of Wands. This is the star. The star is all about the divine plan. It's about the cosmic balancing of the universe. It's about divine intervention. It's about wishes. It's about dreams. It's like some real Jiminy Cricket shit. This is the 7 of Wands. This is all about stepping out of defensive energy, you know, kind of just being on the defensive and feeling that you have to stay guarded, and in this energy of just freneticness, and just not trusting your inner knowing. There is a divine plan for all of us, that in terms of like what you incarnate here to do, the lessons you're here to learn, you cannot miss them. You literally cannot miss them. It is written into your natal chart that you will have the experiences that you need to have to learn the lessons that you need to learn while you're here. And the challenging part of that while we're here and while we're in it is that it turns out some of these lessons fucking suck when you have to learn them and be in there in it and just like feeling, just because when we're clearing this shit out, when we, the conscious person having the experience, is clearing this shit out, we're clearing it out for previous generations. So we're like liberating like our grandparents and our ancestors and everyone on down our genealogical line from this shit. And then we're also healing everything forward, right? Because as we're healing it, as we're integrating this, we're literally changing the DNA makeup. Because what's really important to remember, especially as while all this emphasis is on the mother, because of this Cancer light up, that the egg you were formed from was formed in your mother while she was in her mother. So that means that you literally were formed in the vibration of your mother's body and her mother's body. So child, mother, grandmother. So that's 3 generations in one person for each person that's born on down the line, right? And so that is why, because our DNA information is, it's information. It's just like the internet. Like we don't really, and it's kind of funny that I'm like, we don't really understand it and can't really explain it, I'm sure someone who is smarter than I am can. But that this is the shit that we carry in us, that when certain trauma happens to us, it kicks on that DNA that, okay, so now, I don't know, like, illnesses that run in families get turned on because it's happening at the same time as this emotional disconnect. And so this emotional disconnect is stepping forward, which puts us in our defensive mode because we're not trusting our divine blueprint. I feel like there was more I wanted to say on the whole like mom fractal that happens. But if it comes back, it comes back. If you are watching this You are aware of the divine changes that are happening in your life. You're aware of the synchronicities. The universe has started to speak to you in ways that only you can understand. So one, you really need to learn to trust your intuition. This is an ask for you to step into that sacred trust and recognize your magic as it steps forward for you, because you are going to be able to decode and tie shit together that no one else can. And we really need you here consciously doing that, because when you're doing that, and then another person does that, and another person does that, and another person does that, we raise the collective vibration all at once, and we get through to these massive you get presence, essentially, right? That you get to be a better manifester. Your life becomes easier because you're in your divine flow. You're doing what you came here to do. And so again, remember, if you are going to have an experience in this lifetime and say, like, you feel this, like for me, for example, this feels like what I am supposed to do, and I'm supposed to be doing it, right? Like right now, I'm fucking putting energy into it. That our missions are stepping forward. And so trust what is stepping forward for you, and any inklings you get about shit that you just feel like you really need to check out right now. Don't shame yourself about it. Whatever stories you are telling yourself about, you know, if there are ancestral stories tied to what you're into, or what you're wanting to explore, or directions you're wanting to go, it's asking for your conscious work in terms of understanding these blockages, because blockages exist to be dismantled, because we are designed to be in a state of flow. So we're really being asked to trust that, to trust our flow as it steps forward. Just feeling if there's anything else that wants to come through. We're tumbling right now. Like, you know, I was thinking about the video Scarlett Takes a Tumble last night, and like how fucked up it was that we kind of as a whole society, I don't know if you remember that YouTube video, but it's just a lot to unpack. And as we are asked to do this collective unpacking, it can send us into tumbles, because sometimes it requires ego death. And ego death is super productive and wonderful, and it always leads to higher vibration versions of yourself, you know, as you step into more and more of your embodiment. But it is not a fun energy to spend a whole lot of time in. It's a totally not fun energy to spend a whole lot of time in, because you're just dying over and over again as you look at and address all the ways that you are not serving yourself. And so again, this is just about trusting that this is not leading you to a dead end, that this is kind of the road opening in front of you, and saying, like, this is like in fucking Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Is that one where the walk of faith, where he's getting to the Holy Grail, and it looks like it's just a fucking canyon, and then he kicks the dust because it's the one with Sean Connery, I think it's the third one, and he kicks the dust, and he walks across, and he gets to the next stage, and then he gets to the next stage, and he gets to the next stage, because in this instance, in this Indiana Jones instance, he is working for the love of his father, for the unconditional love of his father. His father is dying, got shot by the Nazis, and he has to bring the Holy Grail back. That it is service through unconditional love that always gets us to where we need to go, and we can thank Steven Spielberg for that lesson in particular, or whoever wrote that movie, and and Harrison Ford, obviously, and Sean Connery too. But yeah. That's what's up. Just trust yourself. Give yourself grace. Stop being so hard on yourself. The universe is trying to show you you're exactly where you need to be. Just trust it. Kick some rocks if you need to. Dude, wouldn't that be so tight if you went to a cliff, if you happen to have a cliff nearby, and just started kicking rocks, and just like, what if some rocks landed on an invisible bridge, and you're the first person in the world who ever found an invisible bridge? Crazier things have happened. I don't know. Probably so. All my love. You got this. We got this. We're going to get through this. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day whenever you see this, and thank you so much. I'll talk to you guys later.